welcome to another episode of The Influential Nonprofit. I'm your host, Amiri Anders. I am the Chief Energy Officer for Courageous Communication, and today we're going to talk exactly about that. We're going to be talking about claiming new energy for 2026. You may have had a holiday hangover, a holiday stress hangover, that is. We're talking about this beast that shows up probably most Januaries for you, and we never really talk about it or name it out loud. We spend so much mental and emotional energy preparing for the holidays, getting through the holidays. We forget something very important, and that is the holidays may be on the calendar, but they may end in the calendar, but they don't end in our bodies. They don't end in our nervous system, and they definitely don't end in our leadership. So this episode is about what to do with all of that leftover energy, like the leftovers from your Christmas feast. What do you do with it? It's the pressure, the exhaustion, the emotional residue that sort of sticks to you. How can you release it so you don't carry it in 2026? Or now that it's 2026 and you're sitting in it, you're thinking, how can I get rid of this? I don't really want to bring this into the new year. So let's get into it, because we want to step into 2026 with clarity, capacity, and a whole new kind of energy. And I'm going to be talking about going from one year to another year, but really this can happen in any transition, from one month to the next, one week to the next, one day to the next, 1 hour to the next. A lot of times, maybe you're in a meeting and then you have another meeting or call or something after, and you're bringing the energy of that meeting with you. And maybe you're showing up a little grumpy or a little tired, and the people are with you are like, wait, what's going on? They can't figure out why you're doing what's going on, and you are not really conscious that you're bringing that energy with you. You are not in an aware enough state to understand that the energy is everything, and then what you put out is what you're going to get back. And we know that, and I know you know that energy is everything. And the energy we put out is exactly the energy we get back. And everything starts with energy, because if it's not created and the energy that's serving you, then it will lessen the creation. So let's talk about this. The leadership holiday hangover. Even though the holidays are gone, many nonprofit leaders still feel like they're bracing for something. It's all that adrenaline that went into the year-end giving push, the emotional intensity from donors, clients, teams, and their families, the pressure to hit goals, all those year-end goals, the pressure of the expectations that you just carry silently. And and even in this 2025 was a year full of so much pressure and so many changes that I know that it affected you deeply. It affected all of us. So I'm just going to assume it affected you. And that's why you're here with me today. It all sort of clings to you like a residue, and your thinking, your reactions, and your body, your capacity all carries it with you. If you don't pause or reset, you're going to step into the new year carrying the energy of the old one. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do that reset to help us clear it out. And my intention is that this episode is a bit evergreen for you. Like I said, this isn't just about from one year to the next. This can be about transitioning from one day to the next. If any time you need a clearing out, you can always come back to this episode and say, wait, I think I need an energetic reset. Let me go tap into that episode. Let's talk about why this matters and why this kind of stress can often linger around us. Leaders just don't experience stress. We absorb it. During the holidays, while everyone else gets time off or checks out, we often take on even more. There's so much year-end work to do, right? The donor urgency, we have to meet this goal by the end of the year. Donors wanting to donate, which is wonderful, but they need to do it by the end of the tax year. The emotional labor of not just ushering a staff or a team, but clients, of the people you serve through the holidays. Um, Staff needing extra support or extra time off, the year-end reporting, family expectations, your internal pressure to quote unquote finish strong. And that can be really, really difficult to take. Plus, you're supposed to be like having fun and enjoying yourself during the holidays as well. So if you find yourself in the beginning of January 2026 already in survival mode, first of all, you're not alone. You are not alone. That's why I created this. And second, every boundary, every decision, every conversation, every interaction is going to come from that survival mode place. That's the lens through which you're going to view the world. So when you reset your energy into something that's going to serve you better, everything automatically gets easier. Now, you know me well enough to know that we understand that energy is everything, but people around you, they may not quite get this. So you can also serve not only for yourself, but others who are willing and open to do the work to this energetic reset. You might even think about doing this as a team exercise. So let's talk about the framework. I want to introduce you to this is a simple three-part framework. I think I've even mentioned it before. There's three parts to this: release, recalibrate, reclaim. Release is let go of old stress, pressure, guilt, and emotional loops that don't belong in 2026. Recalibrate means realign your energy, expectations, and boundaries and agreements with the leader you want to be this year. And third is reclaim. Step back into your power, right? Your presence, and consciously choose the energy you want to lead with in 2026. I am working through this exercise right alongside you. I want to make sure and I want to work on reclaiming my power. This isn't a wad. This is something we work on consciously all the time, is the reclamation of power. And during times like the holidays, during times of big transition and change, we may lose touch with our personal power. So exercises like this can just be a great reminder. So we're going to walk through each one. First is release, letting go of 2025's residue. I kind of love that word because it's such a great description of how you feel. It's like this coating on you that you don't like maybe no one else can see it, but you're sure aware that it's there. Okay, take a breath with me in and out. What from 2025 are you still carrying that you don't want to bring into 2026? It might be a decision you're avoiding. It might be a conversation that drained you, a relationship that drained you, a disappointment in yourself or others, a moment or moments of guilt, a pressure you felt responsible for, a story about what you should have done. I have a story about what I should have done. I gave myself permission at the beginning of the year. My word for the year was inspiration. I was only going to do what inspired me. Turns out that wasn't a lot in this year. I did really slim down the business. I didn't do the donor attraction forum this year because it felt heavy. It felt like something I had to do, not something I wanted to do. I didn't come at it with the same kind of energy. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Energy is everything. Maybe this is a pause. Maybe this is a chance to reset. But with that came guilt that I wasn't productive all the time. And that is the story that I am working to release, is letting go of 2025, and that it was what I needed it to be and what was the best thing for me, even when my subconscious programming tells me I should feel guilty for not being productive. I kicked ass for 7 years, which is a life cycle. We live our life in 7 year cycles. And I knew I needed an inhale. And yet when I took it, I felt really guilty about taking it. So I am working to accept that and release it. So imagine your energy is like an inbox. Some of those messages are unread, unresolved, unhealthy, or unnecessary. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to close the loop. I don't need to figure out why I feel guilty. I just need to close the loop. Here's just a simple process. Put your hand on your chest and say, I release what isn't mine to carry into this year. You don't have to solve it. You just have to let it go. I can just choose to let go that the guilt around powering down the business for 2025. I can choose to let it go. I release what isn't mine to carry into this year. When I do workshops, at the end of the workshops, I have people say one thing I want to let go of and one thing I want to claim. And this is the thing to let go of. And I actually had everybody put what they wanted to let go of on a piece of flip chart paper. And then we all took turns ripping it up to just close the loop on the things that we wanted to let go of and didn't want to bring into 2026. Okay, now number two, let's recalibrate with align with who we want to be. Ask yourself, what is my capacity actually right now? Not your ideal capacity, not other people's expectations, your real right now energetic capacity. From that place, consider what gets to stay, what gets to shift, what new agreements or boundaries would support me, and what expectations need adjusting. So, this is such an interesting question, especially given the example that I just gave you. Let me read them again. What gets to stay? What gets to shift? What new agreements or boundaries would support me? Now, I want to make sure I clarify for you. Agreements are things we do want, boundaries are things we don't want. We tend to really focus on boundaries, putting up a boundary, which is I don't want this to happen. Like I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to feel like my calendar is not my own. So what would be what is the agreement? What do we want? We want devoted time to focus, and we want our calendar to align with our values, or our calendar to align with our greatest gifts. Those are how we create new boundaries, and a quick uh, example of how boundaries and agreements are different. They're both valid, they're just different. Um, and what expectations need adjusting. So in my mind, what gets to stay, what gets to shift? I'm going to look at my actual capacity, which may be different from the capacity that I had in the past, and my real life right now energetic capacity. My capacity last year was pretty low. Okay. So and it took me actually a couple years to be honest with the fact that my energy was fading. I didn't want to admit it to myself or to anyone else, even though I have many, many coaches and guides who could have supported me. And for you, it may be, what gets to stay or what needs to shift. It could be, you know, running with the idea of the scarcity of time. Like one of my clients, she was just rush, rush, rush all the time. And she made the conscious choice not to be that way, to feel calm and confident and choose that energy. So that's the shift that she made. What gets to stay was her passion for the mission. What got to shift was the way she approached it. And she created new agreements with herself to check in on her energy and consciously cultivate calm confidence. Here's the powerful prompt for you. If you were leading from calm instead of urgency, what would change? If you were leading from a place of calm instead of urgency, what would change? In my clients, in this case, the way she walked from her car into the office, because she would get out of her car and she would just rush, rush, rush. And that started off the energy of the scarcity of time. We don't have enough time. Time, time, time. It was always this time crunch. And that's the story they were telling themselves. And they created a lot of tension and stress around time. So if I was leading from calm instead of urgency, what would change? This is where you design how you want to move through 2026, not from pressure, but from presence, right? From presence. What presence do you want to cultivate in 2026? Or number 3 is reclaim, stepping into your 2026 leadership energy. This is the best part. Here we go. Reclaiming your energy means consciously choosing the leadership identity you want to embody this year. Who do you want to show up as? Ask yourself, who am I becoming in 2026? Maybe you want to be a calmer leader, a clearer communicator, a stronger boundary setter, a more spacious, expansive, bold thinker, a more compassionate presence, a more confident decision maker. Choose one, name it, and claim it. when I did this workshop in goal setting, this is what we did. And again, at the I asked them to, what are they going to let go of? And then we say, what are we going to claim? And they all had great ideas. They're going to lead from confidence. Somebody said they no longer wanted to second guess their decisions. So they claimed trusting their intuition. They claimed, um, in, they claimed their expertise, right? To claim their knowing and their expertise and their experience as valid. I had some claimed we're going to claim connection. Some wanted to claim confidence. Right? Everybody had something that they wanted to claim. Like, who are they becoming in 2026? Here's your mantra for this. I lead from who I'm becoming, not from what survived. Right? I lead from who I am becoming, as if I am already that person. You get to decide the energy you bring into the earth. It's all your choice. You have control. I don't want to maybe change my language. You have the ability to choose your energy at any point in time. You can choose the energy. You are not a victim of energy, right? And this is one of the practices when people work with me is they understand that they can alter their energetic state at any time. You can choose, right? You can decide that you're not going to bring the energy of the holidays, of distress, of anyone else's urgency. It's just about you. You know, and I know maybe for you, maybe that can seem like so simple, but it does take a little practice because sometimes people just don't believe they can change their energetic state. They think they are victims to, oh, this person's making me feel bad. And I'm not saying somebody's not going to make you feel bad. That's totally valid. What I'm saying is the energetic state that you adapt around it and capturing this idea of sovereignty, right? I say I'm the sovereign one. I say who comes and goes. I say what's on my calendar. I say how things work. I'm the queen or the king or the sovereign one. I say, right? And there no external circumstance gets to dictate my worth or my value. And a couple of years ago, my word for the year was sovereignty of the idea of claiming sovereignty that no matter what external condition is about around me, that I hold my sovereignty. I hold my own value because if I don't hold my value, no one else will. And if you're waiting for somebody to give you value, then you're going to be waiting. And it may make you feel valuable for a little bit, but then you'll go right back into the cycle. So let's do our 2026 energy declaration. Let's end with two powerful declarations. First, what is one thing from 2025 that you're releasing? Right. So me is the guilt of powering down, of the guilt of being productive, of having to be productive. Like that was definitely a value from my mom. Thank you, Polish Catholic, Great Depression era mom. The second is what is one energy, intention, or identity that you are claiming from 2026? And I want you to hold both of those for a moment and feel the shift. And I'm going to do this with you right now. I'm going to feel the guilt that I felt in 2025 and then feel the energetic power and sovereignty and that I can choose my energy and whatever's right for me. And that's what's going to work best for me. So let's tap into that for just a second. And you can pause this if you need to think a little bit more about what you want, what one thing you're going to let go of or release, and the one thing you're going to claim. And when you're ready, let's go back and let's do this. Hold both of these for a moment. Tap into that energy of 2025, that residue, and how it made the guilt or shame or whatever it made you feel. And now tap into the energy of 2026, the energy of reclamation, of confidence, of everything working in your favor, of you getting to choose exactly what's right for you. Could you feel that shift? Could you feel the shift in your energy? If you feel it around you, this is your reset. This is your grounding. This is your permission to begin again in a way that feels aligned, spacious, and also true to you. Anytime you can do this energetic reset, you can go in and do your release, recalibrate and reclaim. Again, this is about 2025 to 2026, but you can do this anytime. Release, recalibrate, reclaim. Release what's no longer serving you, the thing you don't want to bring with you. Recalibrate, create the vision for what you want to be, how you do want to show up, and then claim it, claim it, name it, claim it, and tap into what that feels like to show up the way you want. Show up as that calm, confident leader. Let me find that line I had. Oh crap, I can't find it. Yes. Um, that if you're leading from calm instead of urgency, what would you change? So leading from that place of calm confidence, how would you going to show up and claim and name that person? Thank you for being here. Thank you for leading with courage, clarity, and compassion all the time. And thank you for choosing a new energy for the year ahead. Imagine if we all intentionally cultivated our energy to serve us and everyone else more effectively. Until next time, stay centered, stay grounded, and use this exercise anytime you need to. It's yours for any time. You know, a shift of a big years is a big transition, but anytime you need to recalibrate and reset and connect with your greatness, you can use this exercise to do it. I hope that helps you step into 2026 with some power. If you want to learn how to lead with calm confidence all the time, to ask for and receive what you want, need, and deserve anytime you want, how to build thriving communities of support so that you're future-proofing your organization, you're stepping into your true power as a leader. I can help you do that. I've coached and trained hundreds, if not thousands, of people all over the country. If you're interested in connecting with me, my link is in the show notes. You can book a time with me. We we can walk through how you can grow in your confidence and your ability to serve more effectively, whether that's your board, your staff, fundraising, whatever it is that your goals are for 2026. We can tap into how to get you there. If you want, we can talk about what it's like to work with me, but that's completely up to you. My main goal for this call is to give you massive, massive value and set you up for 2026 feeling strong. Okay, that's it for me in this episode of The Influential Nonprofit. I will see you next time.